Whether it's cast members hooking up behind the scenes,
I want to kiss you.
You are? Okay.
or Freddie Highmore investigating the autism spectrum, these behind-the-scenes stories from The Good Doctor will move and surprise even the most diehard fans.
I love you, Leah.
The Good Doctor is full of romance, but which cast members are smooching with their co-stars behind the scenes? A few, actually. Dr. Aaron Glassman and the barista Debbie Wexler were an item in the show for a while. But true fans know that actors Richard Schiff and Sheila Kelly are married to each other in real life.
I don't think I can make this work.
But did you know whose idea it was to bring his spouse into the show? One of the producers pitched the idea to Richard as he thought Sheila would be a great fit for the role of Debbie. Based on what we've seen of her on the screen, he was 100% correct. But how did Richard feel about having to work with the person he has to live with every day?
I could not be more in love and in awe of my wife. And did a puppy just die? What happened?
Having the couple on this set was good for everyone else too, mainly because Sheila helped the rest of the cast and crew learn how to tolerate her husband.
The degree to which I am difficult is the degree to which my wife is not. Okay. And so
fair enough.
I was an absolute joy.
Other cast members have starred alongside their significant others in some episodes as well. You might recall Kelsey Crane's appearance as Sadie Barnes all the way back in season 2. She's the character who had a vision of her own death that almost came true. But did you know that she's married to Nicholas Gonzalez? And they're actually a super adorable couple. See for yourself.
Hi, Nicholas. Choose you, Kelsey, to be no other than yourself. My commitment to you.
Fiona Gubelman's real partner was also featured as a guest star in the series. His name is Alex Weed, and he's the fella who needed the transplant back in the quarantine episodes in season 2. However, most TV fanatics probably know him as Gordy from The Magicians. Now let's talk about some of the acting challenges and triumphs that the actors faced behind the scenes.
I want to be your boyfriend.
Leah DeLallo has been showing up in The Good Doctor since the very first season. After debuting as a recurring character, she became a fully fledged part of the gang in season 2, and the rest is history. But that wasn't the original plan. You see, when actress Paige Sparra initially signed up for the series, she only expected to be in 2 episodes. But her character made such a positive impression on the show's fans that the creators decided to upgrade her role and keep her around. Paige was more than happy to join the cast. The same can't be said for her on-screen love interest, however. Freddie Highmore was hot off the heels of Bates Motel when he was approached to star in The Good Doctor. And he wasn't in any rush to jump into another demanding project. Here's what he had to say on the matter in an interview with Adweek. When you've just finished a show that had been on for 5 seasons, you're aware of the necessary commitment that is behind it. Making any TV show requires a lot of work, but Freddie didn't even have time to rest after his old horror series had ended. The guy must have been exhausted.
How much time was between Bates Motel and this new show?
There's 3 days.
3 days?
3 days after I finished.
So what made the English actor agree to star in The Good Doctor? Excitement. That's what. Basically, showrunner David Shore sat Freddie down and got him feeling all passionate about playing Dr. Sean. Who knows what was said between the pair at that meeting? But David's words got Freddie all pumped up. So much so that he even proposed that each season should have at least 18 episodes. And he explained why in a conversation with Adweek. It's the idea of making the show as good as it can possibly be. You'd never want to just be doing more for the sake of it, and so it seems like a wise idea to start with that and see how things go. To go from not wanting to commit to anything long-term to demanding a lot of episodes says a lot about Freddie's passion for this project. His workload on the show has only increased since then, too. In addition to being the face of the show, he's also been a hands-on producer since the very first episode. By the time season 2 rolled around, he added to his responsibilities by writing the premiere episode. Basically, Freddie wanted to give his all to the medical drama. And while that sounds like a lot of work, he had a lot of fun writing the episode, especially when it came to the scenes involving his character.
In terms of specific scenes, the ones with Sean and Dr. Glassman are always interesting and were great fun to get to write.
Freddie has since gone on to expand his portfolio by directing 3 episodes of The Good Doctor. And to think there was a time where he didn't want to commit too heavily to the show. He made the right decision in the end, though. Dr. Sean Murphy is one of the most popular surgeons on television. Viewers just can't get enough of watching the master at work as he saves lives and steals almost every scene he's in.
I need a knife. Where do you keep the knives people forget they're traveling with?
A knife. Sure. Anything else?
That said, Sean is also a very important character in the current television landscape, mainly because he's openly autistic. Understandably, Freddie Highmore and the show's creators have approached the creation of this character with care. Their goal isn't just to portray those on the spectrum in a positive light, but they don't want to suggest that everyone who has autism is the same.
In order to make him authentic, it was remaining true to the realities of autism, but at the same time constructing Sean as an individual in his own right.
But just how did the creators go about making Sean as authentic as possible? For a start, they watched a lot of documentaries that analyzed the condition from different angles. This especially included films that focused on how those on the spectrum managed to overcome their struggles.
We try and focus on, not purely the struggles that Sean faces by dint of having autism, but celebrate the way in which he sees the world differently.
The cast and crew regularly consult with experts as well, including working with those who are on the spectrum. This includes actor Kobe Bird, who plays an autistic patient in the 22 Steps episode. In an interview with IndieWire, showrunner David Shore explained how important it was for them to cast more autistic actors after giving the role of Sean to a non-autistic performer. "We didn't have anybody with autism in our cast, so any chance we have to cast somebody with autism, I think it's incumbent upon us to do everything we possibly can to do so, both in front of and behind the camera throughout to deliver the message we are preaching. These elements have made The Good Doctor a show that stands out from the pack. Then again, the show isn't exactly original. Like most of the entertainment that comes out of Hollywood these days, The Good Doctor is actually a remake of something that originated overseas. That's right, the show is based on a South Korean series of the same name that debuted back in 2013. Both shows are similar in the sense that they take place in hospitals and chronicle the lives of doctors. But the South Korean version has more pillow fights. Despite being well received by critics and nominated for a string of awards, South Korea's Good Doctor only lasted 20 episodes. A Japanese adaptation of The Good Doctor was also released back in 2018, but that series was also short-lived. Still, if you love the American series and want to see more shows just like it, at least there are other versions of the show out there for you to binge watch. Now in its 5th season, it's safe to say that the ABC show is by far the most successful iteration of the bunch. And to think that The Good Doctor almost didn't happen.
No.
Prior to being picked up by its current network, The Good Doctor was developed by CBS, but the executives there didn't think that it would enjoy the same success as shows like Criminal Minds and The Big Bang Theory, so they turned it down. Twice. Daniel Day Kim managed to get the rights to the show back from CBS though, and it finally took shape after David Shore got involved. Let's not forget that this is the same guy who made House, so he definitely knew a thing or two about creating a hit medical drama. And it all paid off. The Good Doctor is one of the biggest hits on TV. And the folks over at CBS must be kicking themselves. If you like this video, be sure to check out our breakdown of The Good Doctor's funniest bloopers versus the actual scenes.